Hi everyone, hope you're doing well. Right, so let's finish up with the guitar solo from 18 Miles to Memphis. And we'll also take a look at the intro and the outro. We may as well, as the solo uses like part of that intro and outro riff anyway. So in fact, we're probably better starting off with that. So, we're all familiar with the sound of how it goes. So basically I'm playing a little kind of, double stop bar over the 5th fret of the 3rd and 2nd strings. And we're going to pull that off to the open strings and then play the 7th fret on the D. The thing is though, I don't really, I'm not really going with the intention of playing the 3rd and 2nd strings simultaneously. It's really kind of, I guess I don't really use the word power, but kind of the force of pulling that note off. The 2nd string kind of rings through anyway. So we pull it off and then play the fretted notes at the 7th on the D. And we'll play that figure 3 times. Then the final time we do the pull off part, but then we just go to an A bar. And I guess really we're just kind of catching the meat of it, also the low part, really, I guess the 6th, 5th, 4th, and maybe a bit of the 3rd string. And we'll do that 2 times. We do that whole sort of pull-off thing again, and this time we'll play. We'll finish off with an E7, and that kind of turns the intro around, and we go into the main kind of song. So I'm just doing a regular kind of E7, this position, 7th fret on the A, 6th fret on the D, 7th fret on the G, and 5th fret on the B. Maybe the open low E and the high E, but I'm not really. I mean, the way I'm looking, my fingers are kind of muting that. So let's play that slow. So for the next lesson with this, we'll go through the rhythm kind of stuff. So we got once again slow. And the outro, pretty much the same kind of thing. So we'll do the first part of that intro riff, and then we'll do we kind of finish with the lick, which which was the lick which ended the second part of the guitar solo. Although I need to check that tab. I think I might have wrote something wrong and even said something wrong in the video, but we'll go through that again now. So the outro, it's going through like a 12 bar, so it's finishing off with the chorus. So we get the pull-off thing up to there, and the chords again, and then at the end of the second part of the solo. So I'm playing the 5th fret, 2nd fret on the high E, 5th fret, 2nd fret on the B. Then I hammer on from the 4th to the 5th on the G. And we're kind of catching the fretted 1st and 2nd strings. And then hammer from the 3rd to the 4th on the D. Then 2nd fret on the G. Then hammer on from the 3rd to the 4th on the A. I'm not sure if in the other video I said also then play the 2nd fret on the D, which we don't, because that 2nd fret is actually part of the chord we're going to play. So from those last 2 hammer on, we just go into an A. I'm kind of playing like a regular just A. Really the kind of the middle sort of notes, maybe a little bit of the 2nd string ringing through. I need to listen more clearly. I think on the record there's kind of an overdub, maybe, not sure what position. Kind of one of those things, whether that's just an A up at this position or even a 6/9. But when playing it live, at least, Brian will just, because obviously coming from the riff you have to just go to this kind of A. So the ending. Right, so let's get back to the final part of the solo. So in fact, that riff was how we finished the second part of the solo. So what we got up to there. So now, over our E, back to our 5 chord. So we're going to do this, it's a pretty cool thing which I like. I mean, I'm normally used to this kind of thing. Brian seems to play, so I'm going to use my little finger on the 12th fret of the B, the third finger on the 12th fret of the G, and those 3 notes, when I say 3 notes, we're also using the open high E. But this note at the 12th fret of the G, we're going to bend it up a semitone to the, so we'll be playing the major third of the E chord. So we play all those together. So he seems to play that whole thing twice. And then, as that's kind of ringing, I'm going to re-pick the 12th fret on the beat. So, and then kind of bend from the, that fretted note at the 12th on the G up its little sort of semitone again. It's really that kind of high, low, the open E string ringing through. You get this very kind of chimey sound. And then from there, it kind of moves into this E9 shape. So I'm not really moving my little finger. I'm not going to worry about sort of barring that, as we might sometimes do for more this sound. We just want the inner notes. So from that kind of little kind of double stop bend, I just kind of release it as soft as you can. I'm just going to move these fingers. So keep my little finger on the 12th of the B. My second finger now is on the 11th of the G, third finger on the 12th of the D, and I guess just because of habit, and I guess it might ring through a little bit as the strings are all fretted, the 11th fret of the A. So we've got those notes, but really we're just kind of concentrating on, we're not picking the order of, so he gives it a nice bit of a kind of, chord sort of vibrato in all that. So but I'm just picking the 3rd string, 4th string, 2nd and 4th. And as I always say, a lot of these things can kind of just ring and bleed into each other. So now, even moving from this kind of bend into this shape, maybe Brian doesn't do as much, and maybe he changes earlier, because it is kind of tricky to get all that kind of clear. Maybe one solution would just be to play the kind of the bend 2 times, then move to the chord and just try to smoothing out the kind of transition. It's something I need to work on, because my God, it sounds not very good. I'm not even sure if that was all off the cuff from Brian, and often, really when you're not thinking about something and you just go for it, you kind of make it happen because you've not thought about that you can't do it. When you kind of see these pieces and try to work on them individually, you kind of know what's coming next, and even that can even sort of be a bit restrictive at times in just thinking that it's difficult. So from that, which is over the A, moving down to our what will be our 4 chord, but we're going to put that pull-off riff in. But this time, we're going to do the chord strikes on a D7. Might be like a full D7 like this, but really I kind of hear the the seventh of the chord, this C. That kind of ring through on the record. I'm just on the 5th fret on the A, 4th fret on the D, 5th fret on the G, and you know, kind of ringing through maybe sympathetically 3rd fret on the B. And it moves into the kind of what we'll go over in the rhythm kind of part. So. And it would all turn around. So, right, let's go through that kind of slow what we've got there. Let's think, I'll maybe try and do the intro and sort of the solo in a bit and the outro. We'll do it a bit slow. Try it a bit faster. Let's see, so just a solo. So yeah, give that a go, and you know, sort of work through it with the record and the tabs. This kind of last part, I've been sort of relearning myself. That's why it seems a little bit sloppy here. Probably shouldn't put this video out, but it's not really how I played it. It's what you can sort of get out of it yourself. So right, we'll take care, folks. Give it a try, and I'll see you soon. Cheers.